Want to improve your English skills in a fun and easy way? Well, today, I'm going to share why listening to English podcasts is one of the best methods for enhancing your language skills. Welcome to Clear English Podcast, where we not only learn English together but also explore how to make learning exciting and effective. Whether you're just starting or looking to take your English to the next level, you'll discover how podcasts can help you every step of the way. So, let's dive in. If you're looking for a simple way to improve your English, there's a tool you probably already use: podcasts. Whether you're a beginner or advanced learner, podcasts are an excellent way to sharpen your skills while having fun. They're accessible, flexible, and can be enjoyed during your daily routine, whether you're commuting, exercising, or simply relaxing at home. The beauty of podcasts is that they help you develop listening comprehension, vocabulary, and even speaking skills, all without the pressure of traditional study methods. In today's episode, we're going to explore why podcasts are such a powerful resource for improving your English, and we'll also discuss some tips on how to get the most out of them. Stay tuned as we break down how listening to English podcasts can make language learning feel like a natural, enjoyable part of your daily life. I remember when I first started learning English, I was struggling with listening and understanding native speakers. It was difficult to follow conversations, especially when people spoke quickly. But then, I discovered podcasts. I would listen to them during my commute, while exercising, and even when doing chores around the house. Slowly, I began to notice something amazing. My ability to understand English improved bit by bit, and I started speaking more confidently. At first, listening to English podcasts felt like a challenge. The speed, the different accents, and the vocabulary were overwhelming. But the more I did it, the easier it became. I was amazed by how quickly my vocabulary expanded and how my pronunciation started to improve. Each podcast gave me new words, expressions, and ways of thinking in English. It felt like I was learning without the pressure of formal lessons. That's when I truly realized how powerful podcasts can be for language learning. They made learning feel natural, and before I knew it, I was listening, understanding, and speaking English in a way I hadn't imagined before. In today's Clear English Podcast episode, we'll explore why listening to English podcasts is a game changer for language learners. We'll look at the many benefits, how they can improve your skills, and share some tips on how to make the most out of your podcast listening experience. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced learner, podcasts are a fantastic way to immerse yourself in the language. Podcasts are not just about listening to random stories, they can actively help you improve your vocabulary, pronunciation, and overall fluency. The best part, you can listen anywhere and anytime, making it easier to fit learning into your busy schedule. Let's break it down and see how podcasts can become a key tool in your language learning journey. One of the biggest challenges for English learners is understanding spoken English, especially with different accents and speeds. When you're first starting, it can feel overwhelming trying to catch every word in fast conversations or deciphering various accents. But here's where podcasts come in. Podcasts are a fantastic way to improve your listening skills because they expose you to different accents, speaking styles, and real-life conversations. The beauty of podcasts is that they're designed to mimic natural conversation. Unlike textbooks or formal lessons, podcasts often feature native speakers talking in a relaxed, conversational tone, which gives you a real-world experience of how English is spoken. The more you listen, the better you get at understanding not only the words but also the rhythm and flow of spoken English. Over time, you'll start to notice that your ability to follow conversations in movies, TV shows, and even at work improves. And the best part, you get to listen to different accents and dialects, which helps you understand English in various contexts. At first, I struggled to understand different accents, especially when people spoke quickly. For example, I had a hard time understanding British accents, as they were so different from the American English I was used to. But after listening to podcasts regularly, I got used to hearing various ways people speak. This exposure helped me get comfortable with different pronunciations and expressions, making it easier to follow conversations, whether in movies, at work, or even in casual settings. Additionally, podcasts often use natural pauses and repeated phrases, which allow learners to catch up and absorb what they're hearing. This means you don't have to feel stressed about missing a word or two because you can go back and listen again if needed. Over time, this repetition improves both comprehension and confidence in listening. Whether it's an interview-style podcast, a storytelling podcast, or a podcast that focuses on specific topics, each one provides an opportunity to hear how native speakers communicate in different contexts. Podcasts don't just teach you what words mean, they help you understand how words fit into sentences, how tone can change the meaning of a phrase, and how intonation plays a key role in spoken English. So, if you're looking to improve your listening skills, podcasts are an excellent choice. They offer variety, flexibility, and the chance to learn at your own pace. Keep listening, and you'll soon see a significant improvement in your ability to understand spoken English. Podcasts are a goldmine for learning new vocabulary and expressions that you might not encounter in traditional textbooks. They expose you to a wide variety of words, from common phrases to regional slang, idioms, and colloquial expressions that are used in real, everyday conversations. This kind of learning is invaluable because it allows you to hear how words and phrases are used in context, which helps you remember them better and understand how they work in everyday situations. Unlike textbooks, which often provide examples in artificial or formal contexts, podcasts present words in their natural habitat, people talking to one another. When you listen to a podcast, you're hearing how native speakers use language in various settings, whether it's a professional interview, a casual conversation, or storytelling. This exposure helps you not only learn new vocabulary but also understand the nuances of how words and expressions are used. I remember hearing the phrase, "hit the nail on the head," in a podcast. At first, I had no idea what it meant. But then, I listened to the speaker use it in a sentence, and I was able to figure out the meaning from the context. The phrase was used to describe someone who gave a perfect, precise answer to a question. The more I heard it used in different contexts, the easier it was for me to understand its meaning and use it correctly in my own conversations. Podcasts also expose you to different varieties of English, including regional slang or cultural references that you wouldn't typically find in a classroom setting. For example, you might hear British slang like chuffed, meaning happy, or American phrases like drop the ball, meaning to make a mistake. Hearing these phrases used in context makes it much easier to learn their meanings and use them confidently in conversations with native speakers. One of the great advantages of podcasts is that you can pause, rewind, or listen again to catch a word or phrase you didn't understand the first time. This makes it easier to expand your vocabulary at your own pace. Plus, as you listen to different podcasts, you get a broader range of vocabulary on various topics, whether it's business, technology, culture, or everyday life, giving you a rich vocabulary that you can apply in many different contexts. So, if you're looking to expand your vocabulary and learn how to use new expressions, podcasts are an excellent resource. They offer real, contextual language that textbooks simply can't replicate, making it easier for you to remember and use new words in your own conversations. Listening to native speakers on podcasts is one of the most effective ways to improve your pronunciation. As you hear how words are pronounced, you can start to mimic the sounds, rhythm, and intonation of natural speech. This practice not only helps you sound more fluent, but it also boosts your confidence when speaking English. One of the biggest challenges for many English learners is getting the pronunciation right. English has many sounds that don't exist in other languages, and it can be tough to know how to produce them correctly. But when you listen to podcasts, you get the opportunity to hear how words and phrases are actually pronounced by native speakers. Whether it's the subtle differences in vowel sounds or the way words are stressed in a sentence, podcast listening allows you to develop a more authentic pronunciation. For example, I always try to repeat what I hear on podcasts. I find that mimicking the speaker's pronunciation is like having a mini conversation with a native speaker. This helps me pay attention to the details, how certain words are stressed or how the speaker uses a rising or falling tone in their sentences. It's not just about repeating words, it's about matching the natural rhythm and flow of the language. Over time, I noticed that my pronunciation improved. I started speaking more clearly and with more confidence, and I was able to be understood better in conversations. Besides helping with individual words, listening to podcasts also teaches you the rhythm and flow of natural speech. English has a very specific rhythm where stressed and unstressed syllables create a particular beat. By listening to how native speakers structure their sentences, you can get a better sense of how to stress certain words and phrases to sound more fluent. This is something you can't fully learn from textbooks because it's only in real speech that you hear the natural rhythm and patterns of the language. If you're working on your accent, podcasts can also expose you to different varieties of English, such as British, American, or Australian English. You can listen to how these accents differ and even choose podcasts that match the accent you're most interested in mastering. As you listen and repeat, you'll start to internalize the sounds and pronunciation patterns specific to that accent. To get the most out of this, try to listen actively and repeat what you hear. It's important to not just passively listen, but actively engage with the content. Pause the podcast when you hear a phrase or word that's tricky and practice saying it out loud. This exercise can really help you sound more like a native speaker and improve your pronunciation over time. In short, podcasts offer a great opportunity to refine your pronunciation and accent. The more you listen, the more you'll start to naturally replicate the sounds and rhythm of fluent speakers, helping you improve your spoken English and sound more confident in conversations. One of the greatest benefits of listening to podcasts in English is the variety of topics they cover. Whether you're interested in business, comedy, science, history, or even niche hobbies, there's a podcast for every interest. This diverse range of subjects not only makes learning English more interesting but also helps you broaden your knowledge and understand different cultures. When you listen to podcasts, you're not just practicing English, you're learning about topics and ideas from around the world. For instance, if you're listening to a podcast about business, you might hear vocabulary related to finance, entrepreneurship, and management. If you're interested in culture, podcasts about food, music, or travel can introduce you to new perspectives and traditions from different countries. This can make your learning experience more well-rounded and engaging. I remember how podcasts exposed me to topics I would never have picked up in books or traditional lessons. For example, I came across a podcast about sustainability and environmental issues. I had no prior knowledge about the topic, but the more I listened, the more I learned about important global issues while picking up new vocabulary. Not only was I improving my English, but I was also gaining valuable knowledge on something I hadn't explored before. Podcasts also help you understand different cultures, which is an important aspect of language learning. Language is deeply connected to the culture of the people who speak it. By listening to native speakers talk about their daily lives, traditions, and customs, you begin to see how language reflects cultural values. For example, a podcast about American Thanksgiving might introduce you to traditions and expressions unique to that celebration, giving you deeper insight into American culture. Similarly, listening to podcasts from British speakers might expose you to British humor, references, and slang. As a non-native speaker, it's important to understand these cultural references, as they'll make your conversations more meaningful and help you navigate interactions with native speakers. Podcasts provide an opportunity to immerse yourself in the cultural context behind the language, which textbooks often can't fully capture. The exposure to different accents, slang, and idioms also plays a big role in understanding cultural diversity. For instance, you might hear expressions used in Australian or Irish podcasts that wouldn't be common in American English. This helps you learn the nuances of the language and adapt your own speech to fit various contexts. Overall, listening to podcasts is a fun way to increase your exposure to different topics and cultures while enhancing your English skills. It helps you stay informed about the world around you, enrich your vocabulary, and develop a more nuanced understanding of the language. Plus, it keeps you engaged and entertained. Learning becomes less about memorizing and more about discovering. One of the biggest advantages of podcasts is how flexible and convenient they are for integrating into your daily routine. Unlike traditional language learning methods that require dedicated study time, podcasts allow you to learn English while doing other activities, making it easier to fit language practice into your busy life. Whether you're commuting, exercising, cooking dinner, or even cleaning, you can listen to a podcast and improve your skills without having to carve out extra time in your day. I remember when I realized how much time I was wasting watching TV shows or scrolling through social media. I decided to switch things up by listening to podcasts instead. Now, I can enjoy learning English while going for a walk, driving, or doing household chores. The beauty of podcasts is that they make multitasking enjoyable and productive. It's the perfect way to make use of those moments when you're not doing anything else, turning what might be wasted time into valuable learning time. For example, during my daily commute to work, I would often struggle with the quiet moments when I could have been practicing English. But once I started listening to podcasts, my commute became an opportunity to learn something new. Whether I was listening to a business-related podcast to learn new terminology or a comedy podcast to pick up on conversational phrases, I was making the most of that time. Podcasts also offer the benefit of being available at your convenience. You don't need to attend a class at a specific time or schedule a study session. If you have a few minutes to spare, you can easily pull up a podcast on your phone or computer and start listening. You can pause and resume whenever you need to, allowing you to learn at your own pace. This flexibility makes it easier to keep up with learning English consistently, as you can squeeze in learning sessions throughout the day without it feeling like a chore. When you're listening to podcasts, you have access to a wide range of content at your fingertips. If you want to learn English related to a specific topic or industry, you can find podcasts that match your interests. It's all about making learning enjoyable and fitting it into your lifestyle. This flexibility also reduces the pressure often associated with traditional learning. You're not confined to rigid schedules or sitting at a desk with textbooks. Instead, podcasts provide an opportunity to learn naturally and passively, which often feels less overwhelming and more sustainable. The ease of access to podcasts has made learning English more enjoyable and manageable for me. Whether it's during a workout, while cooking dinner, or on a long drive, I can always make time to improve my language skills. This flexibility has helped me stay committed to my language learning goals, making it easier to learn every day without feeling burdened. To recap, listening to English podcasts is an incredibly effective way to improve your language skills. By regularly tuning in, you can enhance your listening abilities, expand your vocabulary, improve your pronunciation, and gain a deeper understanding of different cultures. Podcasts provide the perfect blend of education and entertainment, making learning fun and engaging. Moreover, their flexibility and convenience mean you can easily incorporate them into your daily routine, whether you're commuting, working out, or doing household tasks. This makes language learning less of a burden and more of a natural part of your day. So, whether you're a beginner or an advanced learner, podcasts are an excellent tool to take your English skills to the next level. Enjoy learning while you go about your day, and remember, the more you listen, the more you'll improve. Now that you know why podcasts are such a fantastic way to improve your English, I encourage you to start listening today. Whether you're just starting out or you're already fluent, there's a podcast for everyone. Make the most of your daily routine by adding a podcast to it, and watch your skills improve over time. If you enjoyed today's episode, please give the video a like, subscribe to the Clear English podcast, and share your favorite podcast recommendations in the comments. I'd love to hear what podcasts you enjoy. Keep listening, keep learning, and have fun with it. Happy learning!